to Stone Canyon's podcast, We're a Riot.
This is Ryan.
And this is Pat.
And together we're a riot.
As you know, this podcast is just documenting what happens when outdoor ed goes online.
Apparently it's not mining for iron on Minecraft. Instead, we're going to bring in instructors, and we're going to be interviewing them and get a deeper look on what they've been working on and where you can find all of that.
Let's meet our guest.
Our guest is going to tell you his name, where he's from, and if he could end any fashion trend forever, what it would be and why.
Oh boy. Well, I'm Dave. I'm a Stone Canyon instructor. I'm from New York originally, but I've been out here in Colorado for the last couple of years. And any fashion trend, huh? I would eliminate this is hard. I'm not good with these kinds of questions. Probably the look of, this was more popular, a couple years ago, I think, but where it's a buzz in the back, and then you have this little tiny bun up here at the top.
The man bun.
Well, no. A full man bun. I rocked those myself. Okay.
Oh, so the top knot?
Yes, the top knot.
Dave, are you ready for the games we prepared for you today?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Well, your first game comes from me, Dave. This one's going to be weird patent descriptions. All of these will be toys that I will be describing. I got these descriptions from the patent themselves. So, here we go. We have 5 of these. Your first one is a plastic modeling composition of soft, pliable consistency to be molded into any shape or form.
What is Play-Doh?
You would be correct. Good job. All right. Your second one is toy building elements, or more particularly, toy building bricks or blocks made to be connected together.
What are Legos?
Ooh, you're wrong. It is Lego. You can take that up with the company Lego itself. All right. Number 3. Helical spring toy which transfers its turns from one end to the other in an entertaining manner.
What is a Slinky?
Ooh, you're correct. Good work, Dave. All right. Moving on to 4, they're going to get a little harder now. A board game apparatus intended primarily to provide a game of barter, thus involving trading and bargaining.
What is Settlers of Catan?
Moving wrong. It is Monopoly.
Dang it.
All right, our last one, number 5, is a talking toy in the form of an animated figure having many different types of appendages made to be detached and combined with the toy body.
What is Mr. Potato Head?
And he pulls it out with 4 out of 5 for the weird patent descriptions.
All right, next we're going to go over to my game that I created for you. This is going to be called Think Fast. So I'm going to ask you questions, and you have no time to think about the answer. You just have to say the first thing that pops into your head. Do you think you got this?
Sure.
All right. Question 1. How far away is the moon?
800,000 miles.
Good one. What was...
Oh boy.
All right.
I don't think that was right.
Probably not. Question 2. What was for lunch January 22nd?
Don's famous tomato soup.
It's delicious.
It's delicious and nutritious. All right. Question 3. How long did it take to build the pyramids?
14 years.
Sounds about right.
All right. Question 4. What does TJ do in his free time?
Workout.
He is pretty big.
Pretty strong. He's big.
Kind of like
All right.
Yes, just like you did.
Question 5. Where do elephants like to go shopping?
The safari.
That's not a store.
How far is the safari? Is it just so far over there?
Or is it so farther over there?
Is that in the script?
There's no script.
All right.
This one, there's no script. All right. All right. Well, now it's time. Now we're done with our games. It's time to move on to our next segment, where we find out what Dave's been working on.
So, what up, nerd?
All right. No, it's fun. All right. Dave, though, what have you been working on this past week?
So lately, I've been working on a Rube Goldberg contraption with Justin. So we built this Rube Goldberg and worked on filming it, and editing it, and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
A Rube Goldberg. What is that? Like, why is it named that?
Right. So Rube Goldberg was actually a early 20th century cartoonist, and specifically he was a political cartoonist. But he became most famous for drawing these cartoons of these really elaborate contraptions that would accomplish a very simple task. So maybe for like turning on the light, he would have, this big old contraption that would take, 10 minutes to be able to just flip on the light. Something like that.
Cool. Well, sounds like how I spend most of my work days. Why did you decide to work on these Rube Goldberg machines?
So when I was a kid, I loved to build and design stuff, and I used to love building Rube Goldbergs as a kid, and I figured, why not do something like that here that we can get out to the kids and help them maybe kickstart their own, designing and building of these cool contraptions.
Yeah, I feel like that would really spark that. Rube Goldberg seemed to really leave it open to your own creativity. I kind of like that about that when I was watching your video.
Yeah, they're very open-ended. You can kind of do whatever you want, and use whatever you want.
I guess what I want to know is, what is your building process? Like, how do you go about building these elaborate Rube Goldberg machines?
Right. So first, you have to come up with some sort of simple task that you want to be your end goal, and then come up with just brainstorm all these different steps you can have it take. It's sort of like a chain reaction. So one thing causes another thing to happen, and at the end that completes your task. And specifically, we use what's called the 6 simple machines, which are different tools essentially that make work easier for people. Some of them are like your inclined plane, or your pulley, your lever, different things like that are a good place to start, trying to incorporate those into your contraption.
Awesome, cool.
If that's what these machines kind of do and how they work, why did you think they're important for us to focus on?
Well, they're really fun, at least I think so, and they teach us, some steps of what we call the engineering design process, which is good for anyone to practice. And basically all that is you're identifying your problem, so what you want it to accomplish, and then you brainstorm for a while and come up with those different ways that you could accomplish it, and then you design it, build it, and test it. And you can do that as many times as you need to, keep redesigning, rebuilding, retesting until you have something that works. And these are just good fundamental skills that can be applicable in all sorts of different parts of your life.
It's awesome.
You said earlier that you were playing around with editing these videos and stuff. Is there a place that our plethora of viewers, can go out and find these videos and watch themselves?
Yeah, so hopefully sometime soon we'll be releasing a video that we'll put on our YouTube channel, I believe, which is open for all viewers.
Yeah.
So you can check that out.
Yeah, and I believe you'll be able to get those notifications either through our Facebook page or our Instagram page as well. We'll be posting when those come out there, I believe. So we look forward to when we finally get to debut this really cool project you've been working on.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right, Dave. Well, it's now time for our final segment of our podcast, and we like to call this the final showdown. So we're going to ask you a crazy question, and we're just going to see how you respond, and then maybe share our own opinions. Maybe answer the question ourselves.
Okay.
Are you ready for the question?
Yes.
All right. So, Dave, have you ever been told you look like someone famous? Who was it?
Yes. It was George Harrison from the Beatles. Specifically, this was when my hair was about as long as my shoulder. So that right now I probably don't look as much like him. But.
I get told I look like Ryan Gosling.
Oh my goodness, so do I.
I have gotten Brad Pitt as well. And,
Who are other handsome actors?
Danny DeVito. I've also gotten that one.
Oh, not me. Probably Dave though.
Well, that's all we have for our podcast today. And once again, this is Pat.
That's Ryan.
And together,
We're a riot.